Hello, welcome to the analysis of the play I Will Marry When I Want. The play was written by playwrights NGUGI THIONG'O and NGUGI MIRII. The setting of this play is in Kenya after independence. Publishers of this play are East African Education Publishers with branches in Nairobi, Kampala, and Dar es Salaam. The year of publication of this play is 1982. About the authors. NGUGI THIONG'O is the most famous prolific writer in Kenya who was born in Limuru, Central Kenya in 1938 and educated at Makerere University in Uganda and Leeds University in the United Kingdom. He is well known internationally as a novelist, playwright and literary critic. NGUGI MIRII. He was born in Lolomo, Limuru in 1951, Kenya. He was educated in Ngenia Secondary School and from 1972 to 1974 worked in Kenya Posts and Telecommunications. He took diploma in adult education at the Institute of Adult Studies, University of Nairobi, and then joined the institute. He became involved with peasants and workers in community development and at MIRII, Limuru. Introduction of this play. I Will Marry When I Want is a renowned play which was originally published in Gikuyu language as Ngahika Ndenda. The play was developed with Gikuyu actors at the MIRII Cultural Center at Limuru, and being so powerful a play, especially in its use of song, it was banned and was probably one of the factors that led to NGUGI THIONG'O's detention without trial in December 1977. Some of the critics have even argued that NGUGI THIONG'O is very faithful to the history of Kenyans. That is why all these problems have been surrounding him. To substantiate this argument, one of the students' statements pertaining to her controversial perception can be quoted as far as this play is concerned. He said, "With me, it is very difficult to distinguish the romance in NGUGI THIONG'O works and the real history of Kenya, especially when you connect with the Mau Mau movement." So that is to say, I Will Marry When I Want revolves around Kenyan history. Plot summary of the play I Will Marry When I Want. I Will Marry When I Want is a Gikuyu play co-written by NGUGI MIRII and NGUGI THIONG'O and first produced in Kenya in 1977. The story depicts a farmer who is strictly into risking his land due to social and religious pressures. That is Kigunda in this play. The prominent themes reflect a commentary on the hypocrisy and corruption of religion and capitalism, and the politics explored in the play were controversial in post-colonial Kenya. The production of the play is widely believed to be the root of MIRII and THIONG'O's arrest and detention without charges that same year. The writers were released in 1978 along with other detainees, once Daniel Arap Moi succeeded tyrannical President Kenyatta after his death. The play opens at the modest home of a poor couple, Kigunda and Wangechi. They are busy preparing their home to receive wealthy visitors while discussing their daughter, Gathoni. Their beautiful yet superficial daughter is dating Johnny Muhuni, the son belonging to a rich and wealthier family, who they criticize for being less and modern. Gathoni in this place is criticized due to her laziness and modernity behavior. Kigunda has a deed to 1.5 acres of land framed on the wall, purchased after the revolution that brought Kenya its independence. Kigunda is very proud of this asset, and it represents the only financial security the family has. Kigunda and Wangechi are visited by their friends Gishamba and Njoki. Gishamba is very politically involved, and he is very critical of the wealth and of the Western powers that he believes collaborate with the rich to oppress the Kenyan people. Gishamba is also unhappy about the influence of Western religions, notably Christianity, which are beginning to push out the traditional Kenyan religions and cultures. Gishamba and Njoki, who are husband and wife, live, and their wealth guests alive. Who are those wealthy guests? Kioi Mohoni, who wishes to purchase the land that Kigunda owns, and his wife Jezebel, as well as another couple. Kigunda worries that Kioi will bring up the land again, but instead Kioi focuses on religion. He tells Kigunda that he should marry Wangechi in the Christian church to legitimize their marriage. This upsets Kigunda and Wangechi, and Kigunda becomes passionate in his disagreement. After Kioi and the others leave, however, Kigunda and Wangechi discuss matters and decide that if they were to marry in the Christian church, Kioi would have no objection to his son, John Muhoni, marrying their daughter. They decide to go along with Kioi's suggestion, ever after Gishamba returns and he argues with them. Gishamba maintains that since the foreign powers are colluding with the rich, Kigunda and Wangechi will be aligning themselves with the outside forces, essentially against the people of Kenya who are suffering. Kigunda and Wangechi go to Kioi and Jezebel's house, where they are initially treated very rudely. When they inform them of their intention to marry as Christians, however, they are then welcomed. Kigunda tells Kioi that a wedding will be very expensive and asks for a small loan. It is because Kigunda is unable to meet the wedding expenses. Kioi refuses but suggests that he can make arrangements with the bank to give them a loan with their land and collateral. Kigunda agrees. Kigunda and Wangechi happily spend the money they have borrowed to prepare for their wedding and are excited, imagining the grandeur of the event. Gathoni arrives in tears, announcing that John has left her upon hearing that he has made her pregnant. That's it to say, John Muhoni jilts Gathoni. Kigunda and Wangechi go to Kioi with this news, assuming he will want his son to marry their daughter. But Kioi is cold and insulting, calling Gathoni a whore, and insisting that John has done nothing. Kigunda, enraged, produces his sword and threatens Kioi, who becomes very afraid. Jezebel enters holding a gun, accompanied by a security guard, and Kigunda is shot. The final scene jumps a bit into the future. Kigunda has survived the shooting, but Kioi caused the loan to be called in air, and the family has lost their land. Kioi purchased it cheaply and is planning to build a factory on it. Gathoni has been forced to become a waitress, and now her father is drinking too much, wallowing in depression and hopelessness. Gishamba and Njoki visit and Wangechi vents her frustration and unhappiness to them. When Kigunda returns from the bar, he is rude and begins fighting with his wife. Gishamba tries to calm them, telling them that they should not fight each other, but rather they should fight the men like Kioi and the powers that have joined with the worth to oppress and harm the good people of Kenya. This inspires Kigunda and Wangechi, and the group begins to sing about waking up and fighting back against those who have hurt the country. They announce that the poor have reached a breaking point, and that the trumpet of the masses has been blown. The revolution is near. Listeners, having passed through the general summary of this play, let us come into the title. How does the title relate with the content? The relationship between the title and the content. Well, the title "I will marry when I want" is used to show individuals' protest against injustice. They therefore want to be free. Various characters in the play who say I shall marry when I want, or I will marry when I want, they are disillusioned who want to be free. And marriage in this play is symbolically used to symbolize injustice. That is Kigunda's marriage. Therefore, protest against marriage or injustice is revealed in the play through characters as follows. Gathon says she shall marry when she wants, because the marriage between her and John Muhoni has tortured her. This is because instead of getting married, she ends up with being impregnated by and eventually jilted. Therefore, saying "I will marry when I want" shows protest against such injustice. Kamande wa Munyoi in this play says he shall marry when he wants because he represents freedom fighters who fought against the colonialists so as to attain freedom, but he is betrayed by the government. The poor life in which he is in makes him to say that he shall marry when he wants, since all the padres are still alive. Therefore, marriage to him is an injustice in which he is protesting against. Kigunda and Wangechi lose their title deed as the result of marriage. Kioi converts them into Christianity and promise to bless their marriage, but they end up losing their title deed. Therefore, marriage to them is nothing but a means through which Kioi uses to exploit them. Citizens are seen protesting against injustice. It is revealed by the songs of protest such as "Unit is our sword," protest against injustice done by upper class, and the government is the literal meaning of the title, which is protest against marriage. Listeners, the play is rich in techniques or style used to convey message in the play, and the following are some that have been used by the playwrights to reach the message to the audience. The first one technique used is the use of dramatic dialogue, in which you find many characters speaking in turns, and a good example is the conversation between Kioi and Kigunda. Kioi says, "If you sell a piece of land, you will get a lot of money." Kigunda replies by saying, "I will never sell the piece of land I just wanted." Another technique used is the use of foreshadowing, or a hint that makes the readers or audience predict what to come next in a narrative or play. In this play, foreshadowing is used to reveal some intentions. The fall of Kigunda's title deed foreshadows that he is going to lose the land. The fall of the title deed is revealed by stage directions. Another technique used is the use of stage directions in this play. Stage direction is used to show poverty. It is revealed on page 1. Stage direction tells us all about Kigunda's house by, say, a square mud narrowed, a square mud walled white orchid one-roomed house, referring to Kigunda's house. The use of juxtaposition has also been used as a technique. The play has used juxtaposition to show classes in which Kyoi's gun and Kigunda's sword have been compared side by side to show that they belong to different economic classes, that is, the prosperous class and the poor class. Gun standing for the rich and the sword standing for the poor. Another technique used is the use of dramatic monologue, referring to an extended speech spoken by one character. In this play, it is used to show Ikamba's protest against exploitation, in which imperialists are blamed for exploiting Africans through religion. Another technique used is the use of subsetting. Such subsettings include Kyoi's home to show conflict between Kyoi and Kigunda, and Kigunda's house to indicate a theme of poverty. Another technique used is the use of parallelism, which is revealed by Kenyans who sing in a parallelism to show that they are united so as to fight against injustice from rich class and or the government. It is evident when they say, organization is our sword, organization is our gun, organization is our shield, organization is our strength. Page number 116. Songs have been used as a technique as well. The book is full of songs and have been used in the play to give the readers not only flavor but also to give certain message to the readers. Commander Wamunyui sings, I shall marry when I want, since all the patriarchs are still alive. And the song symbolizes protest against injustice. The play has made the use of symbolism as well, and the symbolism has been effective to deliver message as shown. In this play, the gun symbolizes rich class like Kyoi and Ikuwa. When Kigunda tries to threaten Kyoi with his sword, Jezebel, Kyoi's wife, fires the gun and Kigunda eventually falls down. Another symbol is the use of marriage. Marriage has been used in this play to symbolize injustice done by government and rich class. Commander Wamunyoi and Gathoni say they shall marry when they want, because to them marriage is an injustice. The title deed in this play has been used to symbolize the wealth of poor people like Kigunda, which is taken by rich class like that of Kyoi. The sword symbolizes poverty. It represents poor people like Kigunda who fail to fight against the rich class. Kigunda's one-roomed house is another symbol to symbolize poverty of the family as they live in the one-roomed house. Possible themes to be extracted from this play is poverty, as shown to Kigunda's family. Another theme is a theme of betrayal. As it is shown in this play, Kyoi betrays Kigunda as he convinces him to loan money from the bank, and when Kigunda fails to pay back the loan, Kyoi clears the debt, and he becomes the owner of Kigunda's piece of land. This is exploitation and betrayal of its evidence. John Muhoni betrays Gathoni by jilting her, impregnating her, and he ends up jilting her. The government betrays its citizens, especially the freedom fighters like Kigunda, as they live in wastelands and they fail to meet their basic needs. Ndugira and his wife betray his culture. They betray their culture and their fellow Kenyans as they live in Western ways of life. Protest is another theme, whereby you find in the play Gathoni protesting against marriage, and as she says, she shall marry when she wants. This is because to her, marriage is an injustice. Kenyans protest against life hardship as the result of government irresponsibility. Ikamba protest against Christianity. Kamande wa MIRII protest against marriage, and so on. Sacrifice is another theme. As in this play, freedom fighters such as Kigunda and Kamande wa MIRII fought for Kenyan independence, and most of Kenyans died in the war. That is sacrifice. Impulse of Western culture. In this play, people like THIONG'O and NGUGI engage in Christianity and they use the religion to exploit others. So that is to say, Western culture has been the source of exploitation in Africa. Colonialists have brought weapons such as guns, and in which THIONG'O's wife fires so as to save her husband against Kigunda. Some other possible themes include poor social services, as indicated in this play. Kigunda is poor, and Gishamba as well. They are unable to acquire some life necessities, including sorot and some other social services. Exploitation is another theme, as we find the rich class exploiting the poor. Oppression and humiliation. The upper class oppress and humiliates the lower class people like Kigunda. Classes have also been shown, the high class and the upper class, and it is in the exploitative nature of relationship. Roles and position of women is another theme. Women have been portrayed as supportive, as it is shown to Jezebel and Wangechi. Hard workers, women have been viewed as hard workers, as it is shown to Gathoni, who works hard, as seen helping her mother at home, helping her parents at home as she engages in home chores. Women are denied from right to education, as it is shown to Gathoni. She is not sent to school. Women as tools for sex, as it is shown to Gathoni, who entertains John Muhoni. Conflict is another theme, as most people in this society seem to be in conflict, Kigunda and THIONG'O on the issue of land and marriage, Gathoni and her parents on the issue of marriage, peasants with THIONG'O and NGUGI on the issue of exploitation, citizens and against government on the issue of exploitation and betrayal. Thank you for listening to me. This was the end of a brief summary and the analysis of this play, I Will Marry When I Want.